Hey everybody, I hope you've had a good few months. I definitely got this video out on time, not, an entire month late. In my defense, I was supposed to edit and upload it today, but I failed to be able to bring the footage I had recorded home to my grandmother's house. But honestly, I like that I'm getting to reshoot the video. We got the nice cozy fire vibes, and we're gonna talk about some movies that I saw over the past few months. I still have not seen so much that there is on my list for this year. I still haven't seen Anora, The Brutalist, Baby Girl, Nosferatu, The Room Next Door, Seed of the Sacred Fig, Emilia Perez, Woman of the Hour. There's a lot of movies that I need to see this year. But we have 6 movies that we're going to talk about today, and I'm very excited to talk about them with you, so let's jump right on in. First things first, we're going to talk about Didi. This is the directorial debut of Sean Wang. It is a coming-of-age film about a young boy finishing middle school and the summer preceding his first year of high school. The movie features excellent performances, particularly from Isaac Wang as Didi and Joan Chen as Didi's mother. It's very reminiscent of Greta Gerwig's Lady Bird and Bo Burnham's 8th Grade. The movie's strongest aspect is definitely the performances and the writing and the relationship between Didi and his mother. It all feels very real and very personal to the artists making the film. And more than anything, it's just a very powerful, emotional experience. The movie also tackles a lot of issues like self-esteem and internalized racism, and it also handles how the internet plays into these things. And I gotta say, the AOL instant messaging, just general vibe of the early aughts internet use that this movie portrayed all felt very authentic. Really, there's only 2 things that hold this movie back from being a solid 8 or a 9 for me, and that would be, firstly, that it is very derivative. If you've seen Lady Bird, and especially if you've seen 8th Grade, you've kind of seen this movie. Obviously, there are issues that this movie touches on, particularly the racial ones, where if you're connected to those, this movie will probably speak to you on more of a level than it did to me. But at the end of the day, it still handles everything well. It's just doesn't quite find its own footing. So much as it sails very well, I might say, but still in the wake of other films that came before it. And the other thing I'd say that holds it back is the music. I was really not a fan of the music. The original composition for the film is just forgettable, and the licensed songs are downright saccharine at points and just really don't fit the tone a lot of the time. It's almost like the director was scared of bumming the audience out too much, so they just kind of force in these feel-good montages with songs that just don't fit. Still, this movie was great. I still think it's one of the year's best. I don't want this review to be overly negatively toned because I did have a very positive experience with this movie. I would highly recommend it. This is probably going to end up in my top 10 for the year, maybe not. If it doesn't, it's going to be just shy of it. And this one gets a strong 3.5 stars, 7 out of 10. Very, very good. Next on the list is Gladiator II. So this is the latest Ridley Scott joint, and as we all know, his filmography has been rather eclectic recently, both in terms of quality and in terms of genre and in terms of just kind of everything. So I was a bit wary about this one, especially when the reviews came out and were rather mixed. But I have to say, I did rather enjoy this. It's far from perfect. It is the most predictable movie you will see all year, I can say that for sure. If you're able to recognize patterns and you've seen a movie before in your life, this movie will not surprise you once. You will predict every twist 20 minutes before it happens. The story will not exactly excite you or thrill you. However, the story and characters aren't exactly the thrilling and exciting stuff. They more just serve as a contextual backdrop for really well choreographed and really well executed hand-to-hand combat. And man, those scenes, so good. So good. They're exciting, they're invigorating, they're just blood pumping, just everything you'd want it to be. There's this intensity and brutality and just real feeling of fighting for life or death in every fight, no matter how high or low the stakes are, and whether or not you know the main character will escape with his life. The performances also are all pretty good. Nothing stand out, but everyone's fun at the very least. Denzel Washington is particularly fun as the movie's villain. He just brings a really great campy energy to the role. It's very clear that he's having a lot of fun with it. Pedro is great too, Paul is great too, Connie Nielsen is great. I liked Joseph Quinn and the guy who played his crazy brother. All in all, this one was fun. It's not gonna amaze you. I don't even know if I'd really recommend it unless you're explicitly interested in watching a movie about gladiators and ancient Roman combat. But if you are interested in that, then I think I would recommend this. It's not a bad way to spend 2.5 hours. Yep, this one's getting a light to medium 3 stars, 6 out of 10. Next, we are going to talk about Moana 2 and how it sucks. So Moana 2 is the first movie I've ever seen that has 3 directors credited. And let's just say it feels like a movie that had 3 different directors. Hell, it feels worse than that. It feels like exactly what it is, which is a Disney Plus original TV series that got fast-tracked into being a movie production well into development. It doesn't feel like a movie. It feels like 3 distinct 30-minute episodes. And then it just kind of ends. It's very anticlimactic. None of the songs are memorable at all. I couldn't tell you a name of a single one of the songs or hum a tune of any of them, and I really didn't see this that long ago. The voice acting was like okay, I guess. Really just everything ranged from passable to not very good at all. The animation was stellar, as it always is with Disney movies. The texture quality and fluidity of motion is perfect. And honestly, the color grading and shot composition was pretty fantastic. Like, I will say, for how much I did not like this, there were several points where I was just like, damn, this would probably rip if I was in an IMAX theater right now. But I wasn't. I was in a normal theater, and it sucked. This movie is made for iPad babies on speed. It's annoying and boring and not good. Don't watch it. Don't waste your time. 1.5 stars. Maybe a 2 stars because the animators did a really good job. I don't know. Like 3 or 4 out of 10. It's not good. And now we're going to talk about the best movie of 2024, Sonic the Hedgehog. Just kidding, it was garbage. I know everyone's going to be all mad at me for being a grumpy bugger. Like, I really tried to like this movie. I really did. I went to go see it with friends, I got drunk, I was excited to see Jim Carrey as Robotnik. I don't know if it was just I hadn't seen the others, so I wasn't prepared for the wavelength that this movie was going to operate on, but oh my god, it's just annoying. It's just loud and fast and obnoxious. I liked Keanu as Shadow. I liked Idris Elba as Knuckles. Jim Carrey was an utter delight, I will say that. An absolute saving grace to this movie. And everything else was just, the action, the characters, the story. There's just nothing to feel anything about. It's all just a bunch of just slop. Ben Schwartz as Sonic is so irritating, just genuinely like grating. And I don't think it's necessarily his voice, because I like Ben Schwartz. I've watched plenty of other projects with him. He's an utter delight in Parks and Recreation. So I'm not really ultimately sure where this went wrong, other than just it's not the kind of movie for me. I guess I was hoping it was going to be a bit more tongue-in-cheek. I don't know, just a bit more aware of what it is. I don't know. I was hoping for The Beekeeper, and I got Godzilla X Kong. Just a giant headache of a movie. If you like the first 2, you'll probably like this, because my friends who had seen the first 2 that went to see this with me both very much enjoyed it. So I guess if you like the first 2, watch this, and if you didn't, then don't bother, because it's not good. I'm giving it 1 point for every Sonic movie. 3 out of 10. 1.5 stars. It was bad. Next, we're gonna finally get to do something that I have been wanting to do on this channel for a while. We're reviewing a movie that's not in wide release in America yet. Hell yeah. And the movie in question is Wallace and Gromit: Vengeance Most Fowl. If you're not aware, I am the Aardman fan. Aardman is by far my favorite animation. I might like Indian Paintbrush more, I don't know. They've only really made like the 2 movies, whereas Aardman has just made so many classics. The 3 original Wallace and Gromit shorts, the follow-up in 2008, A Matter of Loaf and Death, Curse of the Were-Rabbit, Chicken Run, Flushed Away, Pirates Band of Misfits. Really, their whole filmography, with the exception of Early Man, is all pretty stellar. And even their television that's aimed at smaller children is pretty good too. I would genuinely, completely unironically, I would watch Shaun the Sheep, a 10-minute children's show with no dialogue, than like probably 3/4 of the movies I'd seen this year. There's just so much joy and passion in creativity on display, even in their weaker projects. Even Early Man has some real good stuff in there, some real gold if you sift through the dirt. I was rather nervous about this because it's been a while since there's been a Wallace and Gromit project, and also because Peter Sallis, the original voice actor for Wallace, is, dead. But oh my goodness, they knocked it out of the park. Obviously, it's not as good as Curse of the Were-Rabbit because you cannot top Curse of the Were-Rabbit. But oh man, it was just so good. The animation is just a pure delight. I could watch this movie on mute and with subtitles in a different language, so I just have no clue what's going on, and I would still love it. The background jokes, the character movement, the character designs, just everything. It's so well storyboarded, it's so well animated, it's so well realized. The new voice actor for Wallace is stellar. I like his second or third line of dialogue. I forgot it was a new voice actor. This is also like the first time it's ever felt like an Aardman project wanted to do or say anything relevant. Obviously, it doesn't say much, and what it does say, it is very surface level. It's just kind of like the same shtick we've seen a million times of, we don't want to let technology take over our lives too much because it could be bad. But just I don't know, every other Wallace and Gromit romp has been like, what if Wallace got turned into a rabbit at the full moon? Or what if the moon was made of cheese? Or, just stuff like that. That's not very consequential to the real world. So yeah, no, this one was just an utter delight. One of the best movies I've seen all year. Definitely the best animated movie I've seen all year. I dare say it could go up to a 9 on a rewatch. I don't know if I want to be that hasty because recency bias. I did literally watch it yesterday, and also I'm kind of just very biased towards Aardman because I really like stop motion animation, and I really like the just particular British sense of humor that Aardman projects have. But still, I think I can safely say this is an 8 out of 10. This is a stellar, incredible movie. I enjoyed every minute of it. I was pissing myself laughing. I was so much joy. It's brilliant. 8 out of 10. 4 stars. See it. See it. It's out on Netflix January 3rd. So, see it. And last on the list, we have Wicked. And oh my god, I still don't know how I feel about this one. Mainly because it's not a movie. It's half of a movie. And I gotta be so real with all of you, it's really hard to review half of a movie. Go see a show on Broadway, leave it in the middle, and decide you're gonna come back but not arrive till after Act 1 a year later. Then try and write separate reviews for Act 1 and Act 2. It doesn't really work. So much of what I potentially like about Part 1 is entirely contingent on how Part 2 sticks the landing. Which kind of leaves us with only a few things to talk about from Part 1, which are all things I hated. And even though I do have a lot of animosity towards Wicked as a musical, and I think it's extremely overrated, I don't want this review to be overly negatively toned, mainly because I'm someone who can't stand the stage show, and I at the very least got something out of the movie, so it's already pretty clear that they're improving upon things. And from what I understand, they're going to make some pretty substantial changes to Part 2, even to the point where they're apparently writing original songs for it. I don't know, I'm excited to see where it goes, but for now it's just kind of bleh. It took 80 minutes for me to care. That's the biggest thing. It took 80 minutes. And this movie is 160 minutes. It took half of the movie for me to stop hating it. Cynthia Erivo is really good as Elphaba, But until we get to, I'd say, the school dance scene, there's just nothing else of substance to enjoy. So you're just left trying to make the most of this one really good performance, while Ariana Grande is just giving, oh my god, she's awful. I do not understand the people who are saying like, oh, she's a front runner for Best Actress. Did we watch the same movie? She's terrible. And it's not even her fault. It's mostly just how Glinda is written as a character. She has absolutely no depth, and her dynamic with Elphaba is just so dull and uninteresting. We've seen the mean girl, good at school girl who become friends dynamic. We've seen it a million times. The source material is over 30 years old. Like, you have to adapt it. You can't just do one-to-one and then add filler. I really want to come out glowing about this movie the way everyone else has. The way the National Board of Review declared it like the best movie of the year or something. But I just can't honestly say that. I don't even know if I can honestly say it's in the top half of movies from this year. Because again, it took 80 minutes to get going. Didi is like 90 minutes. You could just watch that and then jump halfway into Wicked, and you'd probably not miss anything story-wise. I will say that it's worth seeing. I will say that I recommend it, if only for defying gravity, because my god, it is truly a spectacular sequence. They pull out all the stops when it comes to the finale. It is genuinely spectacular. It was worth sitting through 80 minutes of crap and then another hour of bleh just to get to that spectacular 10 to 15 minutes at the end. But man, I can't say that I'm excited for part 2. I'm open to part 2. I want to see where things go, but just, I don't know. I don't know, man. I will say the technical aspects are pretty good. This movie's probably gonna clean house when it comes to the Technical Academy Awards. I will not be upset if it wins Best Production Design. I will not be upset if it wins Best Costume Design. I will be upset if it wins Makeup over the substance. If genuinely, right here, right now, I will shit my pants on camera. No, I won't. But I will be very mad if this wins Makeup. Oh, they painted someone green. Have you seen the substance? Sorry, I know this is entirely unrelated to the movie I'm actually talking about, but it's like, it pisses me off to think that that's a genuine possibility. I don't necessarily think Cynthia Erivo deserves to win Best Actress for her performance, but I definitely wouldn't be upset if she gets thrown a nomination. She was very good, and also as the musical lead of the movie, she really does carry her weight. Which leads me to my final point. Why is there so much auto-tune? The entire cast is more than able to sing. I don't like Ariana Grande or Ethan Slater, but I'm not gonna sit here and say they have bad singing voices. They don't. They have very good singing voices. As we know, because they have careers in music and musical theater. As does Cynthia Erivo. So why are we auto-tuning everybody's voice? It is especially noticeable in the final little vocal riff at the end of Defying Gravity, the like, It's so auto-tuned, and it's like, why? We've seen Cynthia Erivo do the riff on Jimmy Fallon. She can do the riff. She has a beautiful voice. Why are we auto-tuning her? I don't know, it's just, At the end of the day, I do have to begrudgingly say that this isn't a bad movie, but that is entirely contingent on part 2 sticking the landing. I think for now, just out of fairness, because this is only half a movie that I can't properly review, I think the rating is just going to be split down the middle at a 5. If part 2 successfully sticks the landing of things that part 1 set up, this score will probably go up to a 6. Maybe a 7. I doubt I'll raise it to a 7 because those first 80 minutes are so bad. But I could see myself raising it to a 6 for sure if part 2 is good. That said, if part 2 blows, I could see myself lowering it to a 4 as well. I don't think I could see myself lowering it to a 3 just because the back half it really is good. I don't know. I might make a separate video on Wicked because I have a lot of this stuff that I haven't even like talked about. But again, it feels weird to like put all these concrete thoughts out there when the movie is not done. It's half a movie, and it is very hard to review half of a movie. I don't know, man. Yeah, 5 out of 10. Like, if you like the stage show, you'll like it, because I hate the stage show and I thought it was okay. So, yeah, take that as what you will. And that's gonna do it for 2024. It's been a good year. I hope you've all enjoyed the recommendations and the reviews. We're gonna have a best of the year list coming probably sometime in February or March. I would love to get it out sooner, but the fact of the matter is I've seen only about half of the movies I want to for this year. So I need to get on watching all of those before I can even start scripting the video and filming and editing it. So I have no idea how long that's gonna take me. Probably a while. I wanna say like late February is the earliest it's gonna be out. It's probably gonna be more like March. It might be more like April. I really don't know. It depends on how much I have to focus on school this next semester. I'm also going to be making videos covering the Oscars, which will, you know, further delay the 2024 video. But I wanna review all the Best Picture nominees when they get released in like 3 weeks' time. And then once all the preliminary award shows are done, I will be posting my official Oscar predictions. And yeah, that's gonna do it for the year. I hope you've all had a good one. I hope you're all surrounded by friends and loved ones and whoever makes you happy this festive time of year. I hope you've been having a happy time celebrating whatever holiday you celebrate. Or if you don't celebrate anything, I hope you've just been enjoying a bit of time away from work, a bit of time away from school. And yeah, here's to a new, I mean, it's watered. You can't drink a toast with water, but, you know, I can do what I want. So, you know, here's to a new year, and thanks for watching. It'd be so funny if that wasn't recording like the whole time.